welcome to Social Media Business, the podcast that covers building, managing, and monetizing social media, brought to you by online community strategist Laurel Patworth. For more information, go to laurelpatworth.com.
Hi, what I'd like to talk to you today in this episode, which is about social media monetization, or what are the revenue streams around social media, is events. And if you look at the chart that I created quite a while ago now, here slap bang in the middle around between whether the revenue source is from the community members or whether it's from commercial clients and sponsors, are online events and real-world events. And I want to talk about particularly real-world events and what you can do with a social network there. So the first one we're going to look at, what I do want to say is the reason why events are important is this move towards the experiential economy. There's a really good video on TED Talks. It's only about 10 or 12 minutes by Joseph Pine, and he talks about the experiential economy. I'll put a link on my blog if you're interested. And what he said was, in the old days, before the Industrial Revolution, if we wanted a cup of coffee, pretty well had to go out and pick the coffee and make it ourselves, and that was the agrarian economy. Because of the Industrial Revolution, we were able to buy a can of Nescafe or instant coffee and make our own coffee. With the service economy, so moving from the commodity economy to the service economy, you can go to a takeaway store, a takeout, get a takeout coffee in a cup, and it costs you a little bit more, but they make it for you, which is really cool. The last stage we're moving into, or the latest stage we're moving into, is the experiential economy. And this says, I will pay for an experience. I'm reluctant to pay, particularly when it comes to content like music, newspapers, film. I'm reluctant to pay for that if it's pre-recorded and pre-canned. So one example now would be music. I would be interested in maybe paying only a few cents online for an album, but I will pay top dollar to go to an experience. So something like a concert would be very engaging. But anything that's dead content or pre-recorded, forget it, we're not interested. TED Talks monetizes their events in interesting ways. They charge upfront a lot of money to be there in that short head of living experience, but the minute the event is over, the videos get put up onto the web and are made available as, finished content or as pre-canned content, and they're free. So a lot of people would say, well, why would I go to a conference, a real-world event conference, and pay up to $10,000 for a ticket when I can get the videos for free? And it's because you miss the experience if you don't go. And thank God that TED Talks does that. And I think it builds the buzz around their conference. But anyway, let's get on to real-world events. Nafnang is a affiliate, ads program, very strong here in the Asia Pacific. They have 100,000 bloggers in their community, and their ads are seen by about 3 million people per day throughout the Asia Pacific area. And they work very hard with their community in providing real-world events. So about 20.5% of people who have met online will want to meet offline each year, 1 in 5, and they provide lots and lots of opportunities for their community to do this. And on the 23rd of October this month, 23rd of October 2009, the Asia Pacific Blog Awards are going to be held in the Grand Ballroom in Singapore, and they'll be flying their main bloggers in, or their top bloggers in, and having an awards night. What I would like to point out is you can run the events simply as a sort of a loyalty program within the community and not charge them for it, or you can bring in spotlight sponsorship or main sponsors. So in this case, Singapore Tourism and Pringles, there they are sponsoring the Blog Awards. Spotlight sponsorship is where if you can't get them to pay for the whole event, they can just pay for drinks or just spotlight an area and then tell the community that that's the area that's being paid for at the event. So these are real world events, and they are bringing people together from a community, which I think is an important thing to do. What else do we have? We've got MySpace runs secret shows, and I just need to check my numbers here. They have had 150 shows since June 2008, and Australia, I think last month, Rebecca Horn said they just had their 40th secret show in Australia. A secret show is where they announce that a show is coming up. You don't know anything about the show. You have to put in your mobile number and an SMS is sent to you, and then you line up at the event and you have to show the SMS in order to get in. So it's like a warehouse party or something like that. And these secret shows are extremely popular, not just with a couple of hundred people that go, but of course what they do is they take photos and videos, write blog posts. They don't just write on MySpace, they go onto other social networks such as Facebook and Bebo and some of the tweeny type sites, and tell people that they've been to these shows. So it creates a lot of buzz around the shows. I have to say, when you have a community, it is no problem getting them to go to an event. So you'll find out, for instance, I think it's Blizzard who created and manage World of Warcraft. They have 11 million members. They sell out their once a year tickets to BlizzCon, which is kind of a conference in Las Vegas, within 30 minutes each year. So they have no problem selling thousands of tickets, in a matter of minutes. Secret shows have also either main sponsors or spotlight sponsors, everything from, of course, record labels who are looking to launch an album through the MySpace community. Visa Card have done some things with MySpace, including running music competitions, and really odd ones like Intuit, the TurboTax people. These shows have had Lily Allen, The Cure, Neil Diamond, and are kind of interesting. So that's MySpace for you. MySpace makes about $2.17 per member per year from advertising, according to Business Week from a couple of years ago. And I would say this would be a secondary revenue for them. $2.17 per member is not high. Cyworld, which had sort of similar membership numbers, hundreds of millions, I think it's $7 per member per year. And then you've got other communities like Habbo, which are much higher again. So let's have a look at Friendster. I want to try and keep some of the focus in the Asia Pacific area. Friendster has 115 million members worldwide. 12 million of those are in the Philippines. And they ran an event called Pinoy, which is a local public holiday, I guess, and had 7,000 people show up to their event. So you can see that if you tap into the tribal element of some of these online communities, the real world events run very well. And the sponsorships are over here. You've got KFC Chicken and Dell Computers, all sorts of people have been supporting this particular event. And really that's about it. I mean, we could go more into probably how TED Talks monetizes their events, but I see them more as an event management company that builds an online community to support the event, rather than an online community where the events are secondary, but it's still a revenue stream for that community. In the next episode, I'll be going through another area of revenue streams in social networks. And if you found this interesting, please go to my blog, laurelpapworth.com, and leave a comment or ask a question or make a suggestion for other event-based activities that you've seen that have been monetized within social networks.
Social Media Business, the podcast that covers building, managing and monetizing social media. Brought to you by online community strategist Laurel Patworth. For more information, go to laurelpatworth.com.